Welcome, Collective, to Timeless Energy. This is Barbara. This is a general timeless reading. This is entertainment purpose only. If it does not resonate, please do not make it fit. Alright. Watch out for scammers. My disclaimer, I do not reach out. If somebody is reaching out on my behalf, it is not me. Alright, I do thank you very much for the liking and subscribing. A special shout out for all my new subscribers who have enjoyed the content as they ran across my Timeless Energy video or one of my Timeless Energy shorts, which I try to break down whenever I have time available. Okay, adding the subscribers list, if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. It does help the YouTube send my channel out farther. There are so many very talented readers. And to be honest with you, I just don't have the numbers. And I need all the help that I could get. So I really appreciate that. If you are enjoying this content, please press subscribe. The like as well, if you like the content but you're already subscribed, don't forget to press the like. That also helps me. I'm not quite sure how that works. They give you numbers. I'm not really understanding the algorithms here, but I do know that I work really, really hard. I put a lot of effort and time into this, and that's the only way that I get any recognition. So please support Timeless Energy by pressing like or subscribe. Sora? Sora? Come on, baby, stop it. I'm sorry for that interruption. But you know what? Last night at about 1:30, I tried to do this same read twice in a row and got interrupted by the dog howling in the laundry room. The first time I got up, I was a little irritated, but I went and took care of it, and then I started the read over. The second time, it was a little more noise. And I was so irritated at that time. I was started at 1:30. Yeah, by the time I got the dog quieted down the second time, I decided not to do the read. Turns out that there was a bear coming through the community. Outside my house, I didn't see it. As a matter of fact, the one that told me about it said they didn't get a picture. But that apparently was what was distressing the dog. Tonight it seems to be the cat. Okay. If you've watched me before, you know. First, I'm doing the Wild Unknown Tarot. And then I'll be clarifying with the Learning Tarot. I will be using the Citadel. And my oracle is the runes. It's been a while since I've switched out cards. My apologies. I have other cards. I just don't have time to sit and think and switch cards out on a regular basis. I barely have time to sit down and do this read. So I'm sticking to the same group of cards because you know what? I've got a huge piece of property that needs to be cut, and I don't have a lawnmower. Keeping that in mind, in the link for information, you will find 2 links for donations. One's PayPal, one's Cash App. You know, seriously, probably not enough for a lawnmower, but if you've got a free dollar and you're enjoying the content of what I'm putting out, by all means, keep me in mind. Okay. Where are my cards? I put them away. I put them away. Okay. You know what? Never mind. When I moved, I had a problem getting the setup. I had like a huge gap of doing reads, and I'm continually doing that. To be honest with you, I moved in December, and I still haven't unpacked. I have not unpacked. Okay, Spirit guide me, Spirit guide me. We need 3 cards for today's Timeless Energy read. We need 3 cards. 3 cards, Spirit. Archangel Michael, guide and protect us. Archangel Michael, guide and protect us. 3 cards for today's Timeless Energy read. 3 cards for today's Timeless Energy read. Spirit guide me. 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 Ah! I got the Ace of Wands in reverse. I know the camera's a little low for that. Hold on, let me adjust it again. Okay, Ace of Wands. It is in reverse. Okay, Spirit guide me. 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 I have the 2 of Wands, and that is in the upright. Spirit guide me. 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 One more card for today's Timeless Energy message. One more card. Spirit guide me. And we have the Strength card. Good. This is looking good so far. No interruptions. Well, the energy's been very, very hard. I know that everything going on down in the southern states has impacted a lot of people. But last night, 100-mile-an-hour winds, according to the news broadcast, went right through the area where my sister lives. You know what? I am so grateful. I am so grateful. Okay? And things are a little calmer today, and I don't know why, but maybe we'll get this read out. Okay, first, let's start with the Ace of Wands in reverse. You know what? The Ace of Wands is what, a beginning card, right? It's a beginning card. It's the beginning of the Wands suit, and the Wands suit represents solid things. What's the best way to put it? Situations. Solid things. Not like money, okay, but situations. Okay. Now, in the upright, and because it's in reverse, I'm going to let you know what the idea of the Ace of Wands is in the upright, so you have a better idea of what the energy is. And there is something else that I wanted to add to that. Now, the thing is, it can describe a situation, and it can describe a youthful enthusiasm if you're dealing with a person. having a really, really good idea. Those are the kind of things that the Ace of Wands, the beginning of something new. And it has to be something in the situation box. But the thing is, this is in reverse. So this is blocked energy. What makes this a little bit worse than blocked energy? We're talking with the, what is the fire sign? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Ah, yeah. A blocked energy in the fire signs. Okay. So, with the Leo, I know straight off the bat that the Leo energy, I picture dignified, respectable. Okay. And this is in reverse. So, you know what? Maybe this is something that you want. It's not working out that way. All right. With the Aries, which I have in my natal chart. Okay. Aries, what I'm seeing is if it doesn't go your way, you're going to fly into a temper. Okay. Now, this is in reverse. And the Ace of Wands is blocked energy. Because it's in reverse. Now, with the fire signs, you usually have interest in life. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you're dealing with a natural born leader. Anything that I say, probability-wise, is upside down. Now, we did just enter a planetary alignment that will be going on until next May of 2025. And that was Gemini and Jupiter connected together. And it was giving a distorted energy of Jupiter. So, normally, where you're getting abundance with Jupiter linked to Gemini, and normally with Gemini being, meaning many things, including the strong part of like communication. But because they're linked together, they're not compatible. This just happened in the planetary. It's not in my cards. Okay? In the planetary energy for the next year. Now, the thing about it is, it's kind of like taking a card of tarot and turning it upside down and making it a reverse card. It's like where you're going to have abundance, you're not going to have, or you're hitting a brick wall, or no matter what you do, nothing is working. Okay? This can be lack of motivation. Maybe it's not working because you're not motivated. But you're a fire energy. You're going to fly into a temper if you don't get your own way. You want to be dignified about it. You do your best to represent that really perfect, polished picture of success and respectability. But behind the scenes, if you don't get your own way, you're going to fly into a temper. Ace of Wands. Lack of motivation. Lack of motivation probably means that you're not doing a whole lot to provide for yourself, but somebody else is required to. Somebody else is standing there being required to. And if you don't get what you want, okay. This energy is being blocked. And I don't know what your situation is, but if somebody's been playing this like immature energy in your life, something has occurred around you or in your situation that has basically required somebody to put their foot down and say, well, wait a minute, we need to change a couple of things here because this is overwhelming. Okay? You can't fly into a temper when you don't get your own way. I just don't have it. Walk out the door, storm out the door, stop talking to me, fly into a temper, do all kinds of little childish things. You can't do that. So this is like the lack of motivation. Well, you know what? If you want it so bad, get up and take care of it. Do it. Make it happen. But you know what? I've already got all this on my plate. You need to help. What are you doing to help? Let's work together on the solution. I'll help with you on a solution, but I will not pull all the weight by myself. You want to be dignified, you want to be respectable, you want to sit there on your bum and have somebody else do all the work. That's not happening with this. You cannot have a temper. You are in reverse with this card. It's not going to work anymore. Something happened in your energy that reversed that whole scenario. Maybe you just had your birthday. You grew up another year. You're getting older and you can't do that anymore because you know what? That was okay when you were a child, but it's not going to work now. It could be a completely full-grown adult that does that kind of thing. It's called manipulation. But you know what? Once somebody else catches on to the game, you know what? They have very creative ways to draw the line and put you in your place. And you know, that can be embarrassing when a full-grown adult does that kind of thing. Onward to the Two of Wands. We're going through this fast because you know what? Yesterday I got interrupted and it's already late. Now, the Two of Wands is a need for planning. And actually I had a conversation about that today. With mine, it was with the Pentacles. And personally, you know what I mean? Personally. Making that list of the needs and wants and the things that I don't have a way to take care of at the moment. And explaining to somebody else, I don't have what I need to take care of it at the moment, but I am making plans. I am outlining a path so that I can reach my goals. I had to teach this person what I was trying to say because I got the impression that she thought maybe the things were supposed to be just provided. Handed to her. And it doesn't work that way. Not all the time. Sometimes you got to sit down and make that plan. You're going to throw into a temper here? You're going to throw like a childish temper because you can't get exactly what you want? You're not willing to, you know, get off your bum and get involved with moving in that direction and helping go in the right direction. I mean, put in a little bit of effort of your own for the things that you want. And here, we're going, you know what? If doing it all is overwhelming, and maybe that's why you're not motivated. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe other people are dragging you down because they've got, you know what? You cannot provide for everybody. You're only responsible for a certain amount of people. Usually if you're married, it would be you and your spouse. No matter what other situation comes, I mean, you might be able to help once in a while, but you know what? They're so quick to hand out. You know, you can't do that. If you're going to be successful, you cannot always do that. You need to learn to say no. And the word no, it's a full sentence. Trust me. And with this here, what you do want to do, it requires planning. You just cannot run off haphazardly, say that's where I want to be, and do it without actually doing a little bit of homework. And this goes like if you're going to school. This goes if you're shopping for something large, a large ticket item that maybe you don't know if you have the budget for. It's okay if they're going to float you that credit. I met a girl that got $22,000 floated to her on a credit. You know what? She didn't know what the interest added up to, and they didn't ask her for a down payment. And I'm going, are you serious? Without thought, you just signed that paperwork. No, you've got to sit down and think. Well, I need this, and this. And the 4 different places that I need to get these things from. Establishing lines of credit. Will they actually allow this? Can you pay those monthly bills? Is that going to happen on time? I mean, you don't want to sit down there after a year and a half of working really hard on your brand new life or whatever you're doing, and then have somebody knock on the door and take the couch out of the house. You got a plan. Anything that you want that's worth having, you've got a plan. Sometimes, if you do not have all your ducks in a row, you might have to downsize a little bit and work your way up. That is what you're dealing with the Two of Wands when you're planning for the future. Because the Wands and the 2 is like younger than a knight, was like not a page, but the energy of youth, kind of. So you might be dealing with a young person or a situation where people are young, or they've never done it before and they're working their way slowly in that direction, and they're trying to be really careful. This is a situation where you are not acting on a whim. You have a very good idea of what you want. You have a general idea of how you need to proceed. In some cases, you can move a little faster. In some cases, you can't. But this is the energy of the planning. Now, next we've got the Strength card. And you know, I haven't been mentioning any of the chakras. I've been moving really, really fast. Because you know what? I'm just going to put this up. I've got a cat crying in the other room, and I do not know what's wrong. The Strength card is... Well, normally you're dealing with somebody young. They're normally physically fit. And the thing about it is you have to think about the strength. If you're planning on doing something that you're not getting any help with, well, my goodness, if you are trying to lift something that weighs 400 pounds and you've got to move it from point A to point B, and you're a senior citizen with no muscles or no energy, you're not going to do it. Okay? You need help. You need planning to get help. Okay. So your Strength card would be first, are you capable? Are you physically able? Are you mentally capable? You're tapping into some things that might intimidate you. So maybe a little fear. You've never done it before. That comes up a lot. Can you get over the overwhelming feeling of fear? You've never done this before. Younger people go through this a lot more because there are a lot of things younger people don't ever have. You have never done it. You don't have a choice. If you're going to be successful, you have to get over this fear, and you have to figure this step out. Okay? And that's what your Strength card energy is. Now, you can also deal with the Strength card, overcoming that fear and taking that big giant step. In some cases when you're an adult even. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people that when we become adults, we still haven't actually done certain things. Some of us move forward a lot rapidly. Some of us manage the minimal and have to have help providing for things that we've no experience in doing. Okay, you're dealing with somebody that has a disability. They do perfectly well handling certain things. But there are some things that they've got no experience that would totally overwhelm them if they had to try doing that. And you know what? They count on you. They rely on you. They're not a burden. It's not like out of pocket something. It is simply the situation where, you know what? We're talking about a disability. Say they can't write. How are they going to fill out an application? If they can't write, how are they going to get a job? Things like that. You have to work around those kind of things. With the Strength card, we all have our own strengths. Everybody does. We might not be able to fill out a job application, but you know what? You're young and you're healthy. You're dealing with a 90-year-old person that has 3 acres of grass. You're physically capable and you can mow that grass. The senior citizen can write all day long, but that grass is going to get longer and longer and longer. You have to be able to look at the strengths that you do have. Okay? Rely on those. Get help with the things that you don't have any help with. Okay? Now, the Strength card is the solar chakra. And the thing about it is, you need to prioritize your inner peace, and you also need to prioritize your health. I did just mention senior citizens. You got a young person that's all gung-ho. Oh, yeah, okay, I can do that. Okay? And they're so busy showing off about how quickly that they can take care of that they sprain a muscle. And you're going, okay, well, they didn't expect that. You know what? Sometimes a muscle can keep you in bed for a couple of days. The younger people have never had one before, so you know what? They wouldn't know. The older people do. They take things gently. You have to take your health into consideration. You have to take your inner peace into consideration. Who are you dealing with? Your gut instinct will tell you if you've got somebody around you that you don't want around you, they make you feel uncomfortable, you're not safe. Follow that gut instinct. You need to bring somebody into your environment to help you do something you're not capable of doing. Your strength is going to be your gut instinct. Are you having that odd feeling that you cannot have that person around you or don't want to open the door? Sometimes you don't have a choice, but sometimes they're incorporated and things like that. It comes in handy, when they're incorporated because, the company's insured and all that stuff. But we all have different situations. The strength card. You need to have something done. Okay, sometimes you cannot do it yourself. You need to have other people help you. And the strength card is going to be your intuitive guidance on that one, okay? If you're bringing in other people. If it is your strength, it's going to be your physical capability. It's going to be your educational level, your ability to analyze things, your intuitive ability to step to the side and avoid danger. These are strengths. They're all strengths. Okay, the chakra on the strength. I didn't go over the other chakras. I didn't go over the chakras. You know why? Because I tried this read 3 times in a row. And we're just going to trot right through it without the frills. Because I'm at 26 minutes. I don't need to do an hour. I can upload this with less than an hour. Because the sun just went down and a bear walked through the community 2 days in a row and the dog is chained outside of the house. So we're going to just move on. Okay. Spirit guide me, spirit guide me. Let's clarify the Ace of Wands. Nothing's sticking out. Spirit guide me. Archangel Michael. Guide me for the clarifying card for the Ace of Wands. Too many cards. Archangel Michael. Guide me for the clarifying card. Aha. Okay. With the Ace of Wands, I have the Justice in reverse. Another card in reverse. This has to do with dishonesty or corruption, okay, and lack of accountability, okay? Remember, the Ace of Wands is a Leo energy. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. We're talking about strong-willed. We're talking about if things don't work your way, flying into a temper. So we're talking about the energy of something that's not going in your way. It's not going your way. Okay, why is it not going your way? It's not going your way because somebody has not been honest with you. You're dealing with somebody, maybe corruption, but somebody, probably more than likely, somebody who's not taking accountability. You're dealing with a corporation or a group of people or maybe the hired people. Maybe people that were supposed to do something by a certain time and you had a schedule. Okay, this could be people that work underneath you in your job. This could be anybody that's doing any kind of work for you. Okay, this could be people that you're dealing with that you are connected to as far as family or relationships that are directing you in the wrong way. Because they're not being honest. And they never were honest. Why should they start being honest now? Maybe they feel like they've got something to gain by not being honest. They're sending you in the wrong direction. That doesn't have to be something that's being done by being dishonest, actually. That can actually be because you relied on somebody that really didn't know what they were doing. Okay. Now, the Two of Wands is the planning part. And this is, the thing about it is, if you're dealing with a dishonest situation, or somebody around you instinctively think. Sometimes we don't pick up right up on dishonesty. But your gut instinct is flying a flag about, hey, this didn't seem right and that didn't seem right. And suddenly you reach the point where the planning part needs to just be you. You know what you want. These are your resources. You want to make the main choices. And you're going to keep the dishonest energy as far off to the side without hurting any feelings as you can. If you hired somebody and they're under some kind of contract and they were dishonest, well, you could probably have legal action there. But if it's a relative or a friend, you know what? You caught on. You don't need to say anything. You just do that planning with the people that you trust. In some cases, that might just be you. And only you. With the planning, you've got the Ace of Cups. Rely on yourself. Outpouring new beginnings, new relationships, new romance. So it looks like here that maybe you have been dealing with a situation that has been completely dishonest, and you're caught on to one or two things with the socializing, and you are ready to make some changes and have some new beginnings with people that basically have your best interest in mind. So you're going to cut loose, probably, as politely as you can, unless you've got to drag somebody to court because they cheated you. And you're going to have some new beginnings. Or maybe you have better luck with the people that you're dealing with than the ones that you have already had around you that weren't being completely right or honest. Maybe you're a little greedy. With the Strength card, well, remember the inner strength. This is inner strength. We didn't clarify the inner strength. That's Sora. Sora needs to go to the vet. Maybe the bear is outside. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. Okay. With the Strength card, I got patience. And it's in the reverse. A boring job. Repetitive is boring too. Overspending, laziness, and you're underqualified. Oh my goodness, that's not very. Those qualifications aren't very good. Are those your strengths? Is that what you're dealing with? Is that why you're being blocked? Is that why your energy is being blocked? Because maybe you're underqualified. Or maybe you're dealing with a situation where you're counting on somebody, and you know what? They're not only underqualified, they're lazy, and it's actually slowing you down. It's having an impact on what you're trying to do. And you're going to fly off the handle because of this. With that Leo energy in the wands, you're dealing with maybe something that's somebody that's underqualified. They lied to you. They were dishonest. They were dishonest and corrupt when promises were made, when contracts were signed. And you're ready to fly right off the handle, and you're not getting what you need. We're talking about lazy people. We're talking about underqualified people. We're talking about repetitive problems. Oh, seriously, some people do. They do have habits where you can almost figure out what they're going to do or say. Okay. They know it's a mistake, because you know what? They've made that mistake on numerous occasions and they always regretted it. But you know what? They went ahead and went there anyways. Sometimes that was mostly actually evident with people in their spending or their choices. You know what? The thing about it is, if you're going to make changes and you're going to have new beginnings, you need to make changes. If somebody's not willing to make changes, you might have a problem. The Diviner. We're going pretty fast here. And that you heard the reason. I'm sorry. You heard the reason, but I needed to put this up. It's so humid out. The Diviner. 30 if that number applies. 30 if that number applies. If you do numerology. I actually barely have time to do what I'm doing right here, much less expand on my knowledge. But you know what? if you do numerology. The diviner is in reverse. You find yourself without a long-term plan, lacking the vision that will help you lay the path to happiness. Think about what's holding you back, what is stopping you from making the plans that will lead you to your own fulfillment. Whether it is a person, a feeling, or a physical barrier, address it now. Right there. Repetitive, habitual habits that are not benefiting what you're trying to do. A boring job. Well, God, the time you've got to sit in a boring job all the time, you know what I mean? What impact that has on your emotional balance and how much you actually are going to get done on the stuff that's going to get you further. I mean, seriously, don't underestimate the impact of the emotional impact of something that you're not suited for, just to pay the bills. Now, this does have to do with the overspending and the debt, and it does have to do with being underqualified for something or just being lazy. Okay, so what the diviner is saying is that these could possibly be the things that are holding you back. And it could be a person with one or two or all of these. It could be you. You have no one else to blame. I didn't make it. I didn't get up. I wasn't prepared. The report wasn't done. I didn't study. I knew I had that on my schedule, but I had to drop it off the list and put it off, and it didn't get done. It eventually fell through the cracks. Whatever you're dealing with, these energies, overspending. Overspending is a big one. Oh yeah, put it all on the credit card. But the thing about it is you're just barely paying the bare minimum. And before you know it, you've got 6 or 7 credit cards with maxed balances, huge interest rates, and you can't do anything, much less apply for anything. You're really, really in a bad situation. That's hard to fix. That could take a while to fix. And in order to do that, you've got to make some changes. Okay. Now let's see about the 2 of rods. This is the making the plans. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. Right away. The forgotten. Missed opportunities. This can also be a fear of failure. And I've never had this card. Let's see where that is. Number 90. Take note if you're numerology. The forgotten. In the upright. A canal runs through the citadel, deep and silent, reflecting the evening lanterns. Little cafes line the banks, filled with conversation and laughter. Couples stroll past, wrapped up in their evening. No one sees the figure that passes them all by, gaze averted. The forgotten does not speak, nor hear, nor even see. They are so certain that they have nothing to give the world that they do not even try. The social pressure to say and do the right thing can be overwhelming, and no one gets it right every time. Don't allow the fear of making a mistake stop you from trying at all, though, or you'll find yourself isolated from the very company you crave to be hanging around. Be aware of what is causing you this anxiety and turn that negative energy into something constructive. So you see, blocking you from the company or the people that you really want to belong with. That's a group. That's a club. In successful ways, you know, if you're an actor and you get invited to the right places. If you're a singer and you get the really hot spots in the concert thing. You're a writer and you are being recognized. Or maybe you're not being recognized, but at least just because you've published, you're being included as a published author. It makes a difference. The thing about it is, the pressure is so intense to say the right thing, to look the right way. This is your Leo energy with the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands is in reverse. Can you turn that around? First of all, it might help if you stop flying off the handle. Second, it might help if you start doing a little bit of serious planning and start taking it more seriously. Or maybe it might help if you stop your overspending, if you take care of that debt that you're buried under, okay, make a few changes, work on those situations, and increase the activity moving into the direction where you want to be recognized as being successful. And do it a little bit at a time. I would not overwhelm myself in that situation. Not enough to upset there are enough people that are homeless, trust me. You don't want to throw out the bathwater and then find out later that you threw the baby out as well. You just need it a little bit at a time. Small changes. Just stick with the one direction and make small changes, small improvements, small changes. It was the most profound thing about this situation is how any one of these problems can have a huge impact later on down the road. There are lots of people that are really good at standing in the middle of a room, celebrity, whatever, and faking it. And you wouldn't be able to tell what's behind the closed doors. But when you're getting started out, that's not really a good way to do it. Because you know what? The stress and the anxiety added to what you're trying to do. It's much better if you're gifted that you're doing something that you love and that there's very little stress or as little of it as possible. Now we've got the sleeper. And that's for the strength card. Now we got the sleeper. I know where that is. I've looked that one up before. I like the sleeper. I can't remember what it means, but I like the sleeper. Number 46. And that was in the reverse. Revered, the sleeper, indicates that you are unwilling to accept the consequences of past actions, whether caused by you or enacted upon you. Remind yourself that these events are in the past and only you are responsible for how you restore balance. That is actually very, very interesting. I had a conflict and I was very hurt. And the person that actually said what they said that hurt my feelings was just invited by me to do something that they had shown an interest in. Not with me, because of the conflict. But since I was the only one that could make that possible, I extended that invitation. The thing about it is, you need to learn to walk away from the things that hurt you from the past, and you need to, they're still there. They become part of who you are. But if you're going to move forward, you have to take the things that are positive. You need to take the things like the education and how hard you worked on it. You need to take the fact that you worked so hard to lose that weight and you are looking so good in that size from where you started. You don't need to advertise that to everybody about that. You know what? The thing about it is you're proud of it. But when you look in a mirror, I have a weight problem. I've lost weight. And when I lost weight, I wasn't happy. Because when I looked in the mirror, I still saw somebody that was enormous. Okay? You need to let that past part of you go. Recognize the success that you've made with your education. Recognize the success that you've made with the employment status. Even if it's a boring job that you really wish, makes you look like you're one of everybody else is the same. Everybody else is the same. Keeping up with the Joneses, and everybody is, that can get hard on you. Recognize the things that make you different. Recognize the skills, the creative talents, the little craft projects that you're able to make and bring to work. The little fun things that you do to celebrate a special occasion for people that you work with, to lighten up the mood for everybody. What are your talents? You know, if you're a hermit and you're not a people person, you know what your talents are? Your talents are doing that meticulous stuff that nobody else finds any enjoyment out of, taking that task off somebody else's shoulders so that they can work on something that's actually going to build a better foundation for the business that you work for. You know, everybody has a talent. Everybody should be recognized, even if it's the meticulous, detailed type of thing. You know what? If you're no good with paying the bills and you've got a problem with overspending and you've got somebody else that actually could do a better job, maybe you should have a conversation. But the problems need to be solved and the changes need to be made. Okay. Let's see if we've got a rune. The cat quieted down. I hope she's okay. We need to go to a vet. And we're doing our best. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. Spirit guide me. Oh, there it is. In reverse. Oh, we don't do reversals with the rune cards. Watts. You would. The passage. The rune represents death, a magical sign, and it can be associated with the notion of protection against danger. We did talk about fears, making changes, and fears. Okay, this card here basically says go ahead and make those changes. Make those changes. Follow the guidance that you have available to you that you trust. Okay. Make those changes. Take those steps out into the unknown direction that your heart is telling you really, really need to go. Take that step. This here is a sign that you're protected against danger, or you will be. Now, the passage is also, what is the passage? Well, we all reach passages or doors of success or levels in our lifetime where we've gotten done with this age and we've leaving these friends behind and we're going into another like class level or another period in our life, or we got relocated and, you know, you were taking music and, you know, your instructor says, you know what, you're much better than the other kids and I want to send you in this direction. Passages all through our lives of growing up, taking on extra responsibility, being exposed to higher skill levels than we knew were possible. That's what the passage is. And the thing about it is, you can't be afraid. If you're afraid, you might not take that step out. I would be suggestive that, you know, we don't all have support systems, and you need to take and make the list. Be responsible for yourself. Don't like automatically trust other people to be there with that safety net. But if you want to do something and make it the direction that you love or your heart's desire or the vision that you have, and you truly desire it, and you have the opportunity to do it now, and maybe won't later, you're being protected. I thank you very much for your time with Timeless Energy. I hope that, I know, I actually only got done 10 minutes earlier than I normally would have, to be honest with you. I'm kind of surprised, because I thought it was going really, really fast there. But you know, this is the third time I tried this. The energy was so hard yesterday. Actually, the energy's been very hard all week long. The humidity is really something else. But I do appreciate you visiting with Timeless Energy. Please remember, if you can, press subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Now, you know another thing you can do if you really enjoyed the content, you can share my content with one or two of your friends. See if they like it and get them to subscribe. Help me grow my channel. Press like if you are already subscribed. Thank you very much for all of the subscribers that are supporting my channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, there is a donation link in the description box below, and you guys have a nice day. Until the next time I see you, this is Timeless Energy. Have a good night.